Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin, where we don't pander to the left, we don't rubber stamp the right, and we never stay silent when liberty is on the line. In this special Pride Month episode of the gay right, or you want to call it the normal gay agenda, a part of our newly launched gayrightnews.com, part of gorightnews.com. We asked the question, so many Americans are wondering, is Pride Month still necessary or has it gone too far? Now let's break it down constitutionally, culturally, and courageously. It's time to hashtag Go Right.
Is Pride still about equal rights? Or has it been hijacked? This is Gay Right News, and you're listening to the normal gay agenda. From Stonewall to today, we ask the hard question, is Pride about liberty or just loudness? They say we're free, but silence still gets sold. They wave flags for control, not for the stories we told. They say we're free, but silence still gets sold. They wave flags for control, not for the stories we told. It's not about shame, it's not about blame, it's about living proudly without playing a game. Take pride back. Raise your voice, be logical. We're here, we fight for liberty. This month ain't their monopoly. Back to truth. The rainbow's for all of us, not just the loudest in the room. You're tuned into the normal gay agenda, only on gayrightnews.com. Time to go right and reclaim pride with purpose.
The first Pride was not a party. It was a stand for liberty. Let's go back to where it started. The first Pride wasn't flashy. It wasn't glitter covered. It wasn't led by celebrities or corporations. It was real. It was raw. It was revolutionary. A humble gathering in the heart of a city that didn't care if we lived or died until we stood up and refused to be erased. There were no floats, no DJs, no bank-sponsored rainbow logos, no politicians taking selfies for their campaign pages. Just people. Scarred. Beaten. Cast out. People who had been told their love was a sin. People who were fired from their jobs, kicked out of their homes, brutalized in alleys, and demonized in churches. And what did they do? They showed up. They stood together. And they said clearly, we exist. We are human. And we're not going back into the closet. We weren't asking for special treatment, folks. We were demanding dignity. We weren't demanding handouts. We were defending our right to live freely. That's what Pride originally stood for. Not celebration, but survival. Not division, but unity in the face of erasure. And that is the foundation that Pride must return to. The one built not on slogans or social trends, but on liberty, visibility, and the constitutional right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let's talk about remembering Pride before the politics. Pride wasn't born out of politics. It was born out of necessity. It was about freedom. The freedom to live without fear. It was grassroots. American affirmation of the most basic constitutional promises. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. Radicals took over the narrative. They started using Pride as a platform to push fringe ideologies and had nothing and little to do with liberty and everything to do with control. Then came the corporate class. Pride became a marketing tool, a way to score points, sell products, and slap a rainbow logo on things to make a buck off of people who once had to fight just to exist. And even some on the right, my own side, began to dismiss Pride outright. They saw the chaos and the extremes and wrote off the entire movement without a second thought. No research, no reflection, just reaction. But here's the truth. When both sides stop listening, truth becomes the first casualty. That's why I do what I do at Go Right News, and now Gay Right News. Because we don't pander to the left. We don't rubber stamp the right. We challenge everyone because we believe in principles, not parties. We're not afraid to make people uncomfortable in the name of the truth. Because we don't just take a side, we take a stand. Let's talk about pride and the paradox of the rainbow capitalism. Let me take you back to, some of the first prides. It wasn't polished. It wasn't commercial. It was real. Today, Pride is often sponsored by banks that support anti-gay regimes abroad. We see soda companies change their logos for 30 days while donating to politicians who vote against LGBTQ rights. That's not allyship. They're not allies. That's exploitation. Now, yes, we should recognize how far we've come. LGBTQ plus people aren't barred from public spaces. We're no longer criminalized just for being who we are. And that's progress. That's freedom in action. But we shouldn't confuse rainbow capitalism with real support. Representation matters. Visibility matters, but only if it's backed by action. Too many companies wave the flag in June and disappear in July. Too many promote drag brunches while doing business with governments that imprison gay people. Pride was born out of protest, not profit. And let's not let capitalism turn it into a costume. Now let's break it down some meat, because people have been responding back to my posts. It's been ugly, folks, and I figured July, June, whatever it would be, June would actually be ugly. And I also realized that people would forget what happened in May. Well, let's answer the most common questions about pride. And let's do it right here. Answering the most common questions about pride. First question, why is there a Pride Month, but not a straight Pride Month? Here's the answer. There's no straight Pride Month because straight people were never told their love was illegal. That's not special treatment. That's historical reality. Pride Month reminds us that silence was never safe. Next question. Why do we need a whole month to be gay? Nobody else gets a month. Here's your answer. Pride is about remembrance and resilience. LGBTQ plus people were criminalized, denied housing, fired, and attacked. And also many places around the world they still are. The Stonewall Uprising was a stand against government abuse, not a celebration, folks. Question. Is it pride just pushing sexuality in people's faces? Here's your answer. If the gay people holding hands is pushing sexuality, then what do you call straight people? Your straight couples doing the same. Pride is about the freedom to live without hiding. Visibility is not vanity. It's survival. Why, and here's another question. Why is pride in schools and public spaces? This one's a little touchy, folks. Isn't this grooming kids? Here's your answer. Events for children must be age appropriate. When they're not, they should be condemned. But for most school pride efforts, focus on inclusion and anti-bullying, not sex. Condemning all of pride for a few bad examples is like canceling the 4th of July over one bad parade. And nobody wants to cancel the 4th of July, right? Here's another question. Don't gay people already have the same rights? Here's your answer. On paper, yes, but cultural acceptance isn't guaranteed. LGBTQ plus people still face harassment and rejection. Pride is not a demand for new rights. It's an answer to defend the ones we already earned. Here's another question. Why talk about sexuality at all? Isn't that private? Here's your answer. If you talk about your spouse, you wear your wedding ring, talk about going on vacation with your other half, or post your anniversaries online, you're talking about your relationship. Don't LGBTQ plus people deserve the same freedom to live openly as well? One more question. But some pride parades are obscene. Why support that? Here's your answer. Some events do go too far. I've seen it. Most of us don't support that. Hopefully all of us don't support that. But the answer isn't to walk away, folks. It's to show up and guide pride back to decency and dignity. Question. What's with all the new letters and identities? It's confusing. Your answer, you're not alone, and it confuses me too. Many of us feel overwhelmed, but you don't have to understand every label to respect someone's humanity, or pronouns, etc., whatever. It's common courtesy. Question, isn't pride now just a far-left political tool? Here's your answer. In some cases, yes. That's why conservatives and centrists and libertarians, etc., must stay involved. If we don't speak up, the extremists will they'll define everything. We don't want that to happen. Question. If you're equal now, why keep pride going? Answer. Equality in the law is not equality in life. Pride is still relevant as long as people are demonized for existing. I mean, and here's one last question. If pride has gone off the rails, why not just leave it behind? Here's the final answer. Walking away means letting extremists win. And if you think pride has lost its way, then help take it back.
Is pride still about equal rights, or has it been hijacked? This is Peter Boykin, and you're listening to the No More Gay Agenda with Gay Right News. From Stonewall to today, we ask the hard question. Is pride about liberty, or just loudness?
They say we're free, but silence still gets sold. They wave flags for control, not for the stories we told. It's not about shame. It's not about blood. It's about living proudly without playing a game.
Back to meaning, back to truth.
The rainbow's for all of us, not just the loudest in the room. You're tuned into the Normal Gay Agenda, only on GayRightNews.com. Time to go right and reclaim pride with purpose.
Here's a quick recap, folks, and a call of action. Pride is not a leftist product. It is a symbol of resistance, of survival, of freedom. It's been hijacked. But that's no excuse to walk away. That's a call to reclaim it. At Go Right News and Gay Right News, we don't follow politics. We follow the Constitution. We fight for we the people. And you can join us at GoRightNews.com, GayRightNews.com, GaysForTrump.org, and other websites that I'm putting out there. You can listen to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin on Rumble, YouTube, Kick, Spotify, Apple, wherever I can put it. Follow on TikTok, Facebook, Truth Social, X, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere else I could put it. And you can support us at the Cash App at $GoRightNews. Also at peterboykin.com, gaysfortrump.org, again, gayrightnews.com and gorightnews.com. Because, you know, liberty matters. Truth matters. And so do you. It's time to go right.